Was this DM wrong for not letting a PC come back to life? It's exceedingly rare to get both the DM's perspective and the player's perspective on a campaign issue. Listen to the accounts by the DM and then the player, and you decide if the DM was wrong or if the player was wrong. I DM a homebrew world where diamonds magically disappeared one day. Resurrection magic became null and void, and it created tension and chaos within the world. People in the world eventually realized that some people's hearts magically transformed into diamonds, which created frenzied murders, devious schemes, and overall chaos. The world is overall dangerous, and the campaign is exploration-based. I informed the players of this before we started the campaign. One of my players' characters died last session, Session 3, to a water weird. He doesn't want to play another character, not even temporarily. Like 2 to 3 of our weekly sessions, while the party goes on a quest to track down one of these heart diamonds. I could tell he was upset, so I offered him an alternative as a warlock pact with the devil, where the devil offered him resurrection in exchange for tracking down these diamonds for the devil. The player told me that goes against his character as a good-aligned cleric. He wants to be resurrected for free as a reborn. I told him no because it goes against the entire conflict in the campaign. AITA for not caving on his request when it goes against the theme of the campaign? Well, now that we have the DM's side, let's hear the player's side. My friend recently started a new campaign. I'm playing a dwarf Tempest Domain cleric sworn to the god of righteousness and retribution, who has a strict moral code to uphold justice. I spent a lot of time creating the character, connecting him to the world, and even had a one-on-one session 0 with the DM to make sure everything was good. The biggest thing to note about the campaign setting is that all the diamonds in the world disappeared, and now they can only be found within the hearts of random people, essentially stopping castings of spells such as Revivify and other resurrection magic. The first 2 sessions went by with no issues, but the main issue happened during our 3rd session. Our party of 6 adventurers were exploring a swamp looking for herbal components when we came across an ancient temple submerged in the swamp. Because the DM decided to use XP leveling, and he distributes XP for in-character role-playing, only 2 of the characters are at 2nd level, including my character. We decided to explore the temple, and luckily we had magic herbs that would let us breathe underwater. But to do so, we had to leave our packs of equipment and take off all of our armor, leaving the party of mostly level 1 characters extremely vulnerable. After exploring the temple for a bit, 2 of the players had to leave the session early. The remaining 4 players, including me, then triggered a trap creating an underwater whirlpool, which pinned us to the walls of a narrow room. None of us had a swim speed, and in order to move, our character had to first make a strength saving throw, or be pushed 15 feet back. While trying to disarm the trap, we were ambushed by a CR3 creature. I don't know the name. It was some sort of underwater worm that was translucent in water, that grappled and restrained the target when hit. After initiative was rolled, the creature proceeded to attack my character. I only had 20 health, and on the first stack the creature dealt 10 damage to me, and then on its second attack against me it had advantage due to me being grappled and restrained. It crit for 16 damage, instantly knocking my character unconscious. That crit alone would have been enough to instantly kill the party's 6 HP wizard. My character is the only one with healing magic, and due to the whirlpool current undoing any movement progress close to the gap, no one is able to make it to me and stabilize me. I fail all 3 death saves and die. The party manages to deactivate the trap, and the worm creature disappears, but now I'm dead and out of the session. This encounter was terribly designed and way too difficult for only 4 PCs to deal with only 2 of them being 2nd level. After the encounter, the rest of the party commented to the DM that the encounter was not balanced and was badly designed. After the session was over, I asked my DM what was going to happen to my character since he died in such a BS encounter at such a low level. He said he'll let me know by our next session. His plan for this is what I have issue with. My options are 1, convince the other players to abandon our current quest, to go on a quest to resurrect my dead character. The DM estimates it will take a minimum of 4 sessions to complete. For context, we meet once a week, so a whole month. During this time, I can either make a throwaway character or play a character the DM has made. My group tends to play slow and get distracted from the game, so it could easily be more than a month before I can play my character again. All the while playing a character I have 0 investment in, and that I most definitely do not want to play. 2. My character can sign a deal to become a troll for a devil. This pact includes paying the devil a diamond every 10 days, but the only way to get diamonds is to kill innocent people and rip out their hearts, or steal them from powerful nobles. Either way, this playstyle goes completely against the morals and personality of my character. On top of that, my character would never sign the deal in the first place. In so doing, this would be betraying their god and their moral code, which in my mind they would never do. Any other option I've suggested, like being revived by my god or coming back as a reborn, has been denied. Both of these options sound awful to me, and by taking either I'd essentially be having no fun while at the table. I put so much effort into making this character, and became so attached to him, and I feel as though I won't be able to have fun in this campaign if I'm not able to play him. I feel as though my character's death was unjustified, and was due to my DM's mistake in creating a ludicrously unbalanced encounter. I brought up my issues and concerns with the DM, but he said that these options are the only ones that would work with the campaign story he created. So I'm stuck with choosing two options, with both of them leaving me unhappy, and honestly not making me want to continue playing in the campaign. What makes the situation worse is that if I choose option 1, due to my current personal situation, I do not have the time to create a new character and new backstory, so I'd be stuck with the character my DM made for me. I'd have no say in the character's backstory, class, or race, and have zero personal connection to them. Am I in the wrong for being incredibly pissed at my DM with how he handled the initial encounter? Would I be in the wrong to give my DM an ultimatum that we find a way for my character to be alive next session that would fit with both his ideas for the campaign story and that's in line with my character's morals and personality? And if we can't come to an agreement, I'll sit out the campaign until my character is resurrected, or possibly quit the campaign altogether? I'm sure that you've reached your conclusion on who was right and who was wrong, but the DM had one final input to conclude this conflict. Thank you for all your input. After reading all these comments and responding to some, I realized I was wrong in my explanation of the campaign. I did not properly explain the treachery and danger of this world. Rather than me as a DM saying how can I make sure this encounter is winnable for my players, I expected my players to figure out how to win encounters. My encounters are not balanced. They are narratively placed in the world, and some may be deadlier than others. It's an exploration-based game with a vast uncharted world. It's not meant to progress like a railroad campaign structure. I did not articulate the difficulty and danger fully. I'm going to allow my player to play his character in this week's session with some sort of drawback, but while clarifying the misunderstanding and laying down some terms for the future. The player character is being revived by a hag as a reborn, with a quest to bring the third sister back to the hag lair in the swamp, to complete the coven again, within the next couple of in-game months. Also, I will explain and discuss the expectations going forward, so there's not so much misunderstanding. It's so refreshing to get to hear both sides of a conflict. In my opinion, the DM didn't properly articulate the lethality of this campaign. I wasn't there, but from the world setting and the rarity of diamonds, I would imagine players' deaths would be pretty rare, or the DM would have told them to bring a stack of character sheets, because this is going to be a meat grinder. But I'm glad that the DM recognized that they didn't do a good job explaining the world, and allowing the player to come back as a reborn. So in my opinion, a happy ending that the community came together to help resolve. I consider that a win. Before we take our leave, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, All Things D&D. Stay tuned for more amazing Dungeons & Dragons content.